Hi, I'm Miss Chen. Today we're going to talk about auxiliary verbs and WH questions with and without auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. There are two types of auxiliary verbs. The first one is just regular auxiliary, and they are am, is, are, was, were, be, been, been, do, does, did, have, has, had. The second type is called modal. Modal express necessity and possibility, and they are words like will, would, can, could, may, might, must, shall, should. Okay, now let's look at the first example. Who gave you this expensive backpack? In this question, you don't see any auxiliary verb here. Well, that's because the general rule is that if the WH word is the subject of the question, then we don't need an auxiliary verb. So here we have who gave you this. So who is the subject? Who gave you this? So somebody we don't know gave you this expensive backpack. So who in this case is the subject. So no auxiliary verb needed here. Let's look at the next example. Who did you visit last week? Okay, now you can see there is an auxiliary verb in this question. In this question, who is no longer the subject. Actually, you is the subject. You visit somebody. That's somebody we don't know, so we say who. So subject, you, visit, verb. Then the general rule, again, WH word. If the WH word is not the subject, then we need an auxiliary verb. So you have, who did you visit last week? All right. When the WH word is the subject, then most of the time, there usually will be no auxiliary verb. When the WH word is not the subject, there will be an auxiliary verb. We're going to do one more thing. We're going to practice by looking at Chinese and flip into English. So we have 多少人去吃火锅? Okay. 多少人 is how many people. 去吃火锅. So in this question, how many people is actually the subject. Okay? And how is counted as WH question. So the rule is the same. How many people and no auxiliary verb because it's the subject. Then 去吃火锅, when to eat hot pot. One more practice. Flipping the Chinese into English. 他们吃了多少个汉堡? So 多少个汉堡 is how many hamburgers. Okay, but in this question, how many hamburgers is not the subject. 他们吃, 他们 is the subject. So we have to put in the auxiliary verb here, right? Because how many hamburgers is not the subject. So we put in past tense, did. And then we change the ate into eat, right? So how many hamburgers did they eat? All right, that's it for today. I hope that you can use these rules when you need to ask WH questions next time. Bye-bye for now.